Your voice better?
We'll see. Are you going to give opening statement?
I can if you want me to.
Go ahead.
It was a good win the other night. I was proud of our guys, and we got a big week ahead of us. We were off yesterday. We'll go today and tomorrow, and then got a really good Iowa team coming in here Thursday, and to finish up this week. And so it's a great opportunity for us. Be a great atmosphere, but we're going to have to play extremely well. I think they're one of the top 5 most efficient teams offensively in the country. They can score from 3. They can really score inside. So it's going to be a great test to see if we can make another step defensively.
What kind of matchup situation is Garza?
A tough one. I mean, he's a good player. He's averaging 23 points, 10 rebounds, shooting 55% from the field, can make a 3, though about 1 a game. Can score a lot of different ways, really skilled around the basket, can stretch out to threes, 15, 17 feet, can put it down a little bit. We got to do a great job there, and then we got to do a great job once we make them miss to rebound the basketball because, they rebound it well as well.
Is there a way for you to contextualize the leap in role that Tyrese was faced with? I mean, you look at his usage rate was like 10 or 11 last year, and it's mid-20s now. And for him not to lose any of his efficiency, just how difficult that is for a player?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's just a good player. I was looking at the stats today. He's 52 from the field, 41 from 3, 73 from the line, second in rebounding, 3-1 assist to turnover. I mean, he got a great spirit, and he's answered the bell. I mean, we're, maybe a quarter of the way through the season, but, you got a long year ahead of us. We got a long year ahead of us, a lot more games to play, and, but he's done a great job up to this point. He's going to have to continue to grow and get better and find different ways to be effective. We're going to have to help him in that area at times, but he plays with such a undeniable spirit and a love for the game and a love for the school that it's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch him lead. But, yeah, he had to take a big step this year. I mean, he was instrumental in our team last year and the success that they had, but, we lost a lot of guys, and he's done a great job handling it all the right way.
No, you guys didn't have any concerns that he'd be able to do it, but is there any level of surprise he's been able to be this good right off the bat with really no inconsistencies through 8, 9 games, whatever it is?
I mean, I don't know the best way to answer that. I mean, not really. I mean, he's good. He's a good player. I mean, he's good. He's skilled. He understands how to play. He communicates well with me, whether it's during the game or in practice. I think that's really important, for your point guard to be able to come over. And you as a coach have to be able to listen too. I think that's important. But, if there's things he sees, if he needs to, communicate with me, I think that helps. It helps our team because he has a great understanding because he's out there. He's in the mix seeing it all. But the scoring probably, I didn't know if he'd be able to score at the level that he's scoring at right now. I knew he was going to have to, average in this kind of range. And he's done it so far. But, obviously there's going to be teams. Seton Hall is going to be as physical as we've played. Iowa, I'm sure they're going to get after him. Everybody's going to get after him. But, Seton Hall with their size and length and physicality, I thought he did a good job handling that or making the adjustments to handle that.
He's already taken more 2-point shots this year than he did last year. Is that encouraging or at all surprising, given that was like you guys were just begging him last year to go to the basket?
Yeah, I wish he had so many open ones. But I think he was just trying to fit in. Sometimes people do that, and if you've ever been in a situation where you're making a big change in your life, there's situations where you just try to fit in, and sometimes that's good, but sometimes it can take away a little bit of who you are. It didn't take away who he was as a person and his spirit, but maybe he tried to just fit in. So playing wise, he was trying to always make the extra pass, but it helped that team. For this team, obviously, it needs to score more. He's doing that. He's been efficient, and he's almost to the 100 assist mark. A quarter way through the season, which is great.
How do you know what rotation to use in the post?
You kind of have the way you're going to start the game, you know that. But I think from then on out, and I think these guys have done a good job handling the last couple games since we've got back from the Bahamas, is them understanding that, hey, once we go through your traditional rotation to start and how we're going, then everything from there is on feel, on how we're playing and how the other team's playing us. I think you saw that against Kansas City, a couple of different lineups, and I think you saw it against Seton Hall. And the great thing about it is, we got 3 guys that can all play that position. They're all so different, and so you can use them in different situations. And Solomon's got a great task. His physicality's got to help us against Garza on Thursday. George got great length and size, and then Mike. If we're trying to maybe get a spark offensively, you maybe throw him at the 5. But George has been so good, and Solomon defensively is really good in those areas.
Where has George taken the biggest step, maybe defensively, and without giving away the game plan? I mean, how can he help on Garza? Because, like you said, he's going to step out, and it's going to take multiple people.
Garza.
Yeah, at times maybe.
Yeah, but his bread and butter, he's scoring, around the basket. I mean, he shot 23s on the year out of 160 shots, so everything's going to come 15 feet and in at the end of the day, from the elbow or really in the post, left block, right block, wherever it's going to be. I think both those guys are going to guard him differently because of their size and their length and their strength. I think our biggest thing on guards is you just can't let him, first of all, catch it deep where he likes to catch it. And, Solomon's going to use strength, George's going to use length, but they both have to be there initially before the ball's thrown in there.
How does them having – I don't think he's been fully healthy the entire season, but how does Jordan Bohannon change their team?
It changes them a lot. I mean, this will be – I know that's the big talk. He gets to play 10 games. It's 9.6, and then you round up, and so it's 10 games. And so, Bohannon is just, he's I think he's a winner. He's a tough kid. He competes the right way. He gives them another guy that you really got to guard, on the perimeter that can space you out. And he's their point guard. And so, he's a really good player. Now, what he decides from here on out, obviously going to be the best thing for him and his health going forward. But he's, he brings some toughness. He brings great leadership, and he brings the ability to really, really make big shots for them. He's done it really through his whole career.
This is your 5th time in this rivalry. What have you learned about it in your 5 years here, I guess?
The atmospheres are going to be great. The game's going to be intense, but substance is going to win. And, looking back on the game from last year, this morning, we just got whipped. We physically got whipped. We got beat on both ends of the floor. And we got to respond from a standpoint of having great substance and character and toughness on the defensive end. We got to play better defensive than we did the other night because of how good offensive they are.
At the same time, defensively, I know you were pleased with what you were able to do on Sunday night. As you reviewed video of it, what aspect or aspects of the effort on that end pleased you the most?
Well, I think it's the first time I broke a game down, and I've had 12 to 15 really good defensive clips that I've charted for to show the guys today, in film. We hadn't done that in any of our games prior. But we also have to show some things that can hurt us, that we weren't great in at times, that Iowa can hurt us in. They're very good in transition. We've got to get guys back, and we've got to get the ball stopped, and we've got to get out to shooters and protect the basket. Ball screen defense is going to be important. We weren't perfect by any means the other night, and so we'll just show the good defense because I really want them to understand how important that is, us going forward. But the areas of transition defense, ball screen defense, underneath out of bounds defense, some areas like that we really got to be dialed in and locked in on against a really good Iowa team.
Talked a lot about Garza, but how much of a concern is Wieskamp as kind of a longer perimeter scorer that's maybe given you guys trouble at times this year? Yeah,
I mean, I think, everybody's going to, Garza's averaging 22, so that's going to be, everybody's going to talk about Garza. But, I mean, Wieskamp's terrific. I guess they start 4 guards, so I don't know who, Fran says is their 4. I don't know if they look at it like that. I doubt they do. They probably just throwing 4 guards out there, and we just have to put our guys on the guys we think we match up with best if we're big, in order not to get too spread out, too spaced out, not to give up a bunch of threes. But Wieskamp's really good. He can beat you from three. He can beat you off the bounce. He's 42% from three. You know, the freshman they got, Frederick's playing really well. You know, Wieskamp's really good. And so we've got to make sure we're dialed in on. They've got several guys. You know, they've got 3 or 4 guys who can space you out, and then you got McCaffrey and Tucson who's trying to, you know, really get the ball inside, really put pressure on the defense by paint touches. So you got to keep them out of the paint. You know, but I think they play, you know, 8 or 9 that I think all can help them in certain ways.
George brought this rivalry to a new level a few years ago, especially at the game in Iowa City. Are you okay if this game gets chippy among players and coaches? You okay with that? I mean, like it has, or would you prefer just, you know, it not to?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you exactly mean by that. If you're going back to last year, that shouldn't have happened. I mean, but I thought the Seton Hall game was competitive as heck, and that's what it should be. You know, yeah, and that's, you know, I wish the Big East, I wish all that stuff would never happen. It should be like the old Big East. That conference was great, but you know, Iowa's really good, and we got a lot of respect for them. This is the next game. We need to play extremely well to win. We're going to have to be tough-minded. We're going to have to be selfless on offense. We're going to have to space them out. But we're going to have to make tough plays. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. I love playing in this. You know, this is a great week. You're playing the #1 team in the Big East preseason, and then you're playing Iowa, 2 really good teams at home, where you've got one of the, you know, best home court advantages, fan bases in the country. And so, I mean, there'll be some heated moments, but I think what we have to do collectively from A to Z is we've got to have great character and great composure in the way we compete and the way we make tough plays, and understand that you got to, you know, stay with it. You got to stay the course. You can't live in ups and downs. We got to be even keel from a standpoint of there's going to be great emotion, but we got to know it's the next play, because we're up 8 against Seton Hall, and then it's cut to 1. Then we got down 2. And so we've got to be able to build on our high moments and eliminate the low moments as quick as we can. But, yeah, these rivalries are great. I mean, every school you go to, they have one school, you know, and it's good because both teams has had a lot of success.
How important is it for you guys early on in games to have where you've got Rozier and Tyrese even really playing downhill towards the basket rather than settling for shots?
Yeah, I think that's the makeup of our team. I think we're shooting almost from the 2-point line. We're shooting almost 60%. And I think if you look at all our numbers, we're really good when we're getting the ball inside, whether it's going inside out or just going straight into the post, or getting 2-point shots because we're getting the ball downhill. We're getting driving angles. We're putting pressure on the defense. That's just our team. That's what we need to do. You know, we went back. We're actually only shooting, I think Matt sent it last year. This time we're shooting 32% from 3. Right now we're shooting 30%. The problem when everybody looks at 3-point line, we were struggling so bad early, and we hadn't shot it well outside of one game. So hopefully that'll come along. But I think the strength of this team is scoring in transition, is throwing the ball inside, is putting pressure on the defense with space to the floor and driving the ball with guys like Rock, guys like Tyrese, and then playing off of them. But, you know, we've got to make sure we don't get away from that. You know, threes are great, and we want to shoot good open threes, but we don't need bad threes, contested threes, quick threes that are going to lead to easy opportunities for any opponent that we play. But, you know, if you're shooting almost 60% from 2, we got to continue to, you know, try to space people out, throw it inside, and get driving angles.
How much of that can come just on the defensive end where you got to get stops so you're not going against a set defense?
Yeah, I think that's all great offensive teams. You go look and chart, I bet 3/4 of their points are coming in transition. I remember a year we had a great offensive team. It's like, man, go look what we ran. How did we score all those points? Then they come back and they say, 70% of them came in transition. You know, so it helps being good on the defensive end, and we got to continue to grow in that area if this team's going to max out.